Man, I'll tell you what a year it's been, and it's pretty incredible that the Lions season has come to an end. Yeah. You know, when we first started talking about the injuries, and a year ago, kind of when we started talking to you about coming on the show, and we think you can provide some really good insight for us in terms of the injuries. You think maybe a guy here and a guy there will go down, and you'll pop once in a while. You have been as hot a video on our YouTube page as anybody over the last year because of all of these injuries.
With the personality.
Well, that too. Personality, insight, and injury. How about that? Just overall, these injuries with the Detroit Lions, 22 guys on defense alone.
Crazy.
Is that just... We've never seen anything like it. Do you believe that is freakish? Or do you believe that is a bigger problem with this organization? Maybe something they're doing now. A lot of, like, again, Amik Robertson gets Jack Campbell trying to tackle a player, breaks his arm. It's friendly fire. There's nothing organizationally that you do there. But I mean, it just feels like, man.
Not to cut you off, Doc. A lot of their injuries have been friendly fire. Like, a lot of them have been friendly fire to where guys are coming in, head down, not necessarily paying attention, try to, get a hat on a ball or a hat on a ball carrier. Sometimes that can be when you go in blind, but that's just quick thought.
The whole year I've been trying to be glass half full with all these things. And I'm going to stick to what I typically say is that these guys are playing in that 9, 10, 11 gear. Is it borderline reckless? Is it borderline? Some are just bad luck. 2 is they're pushing the envelope every play. Your collisions is at a higher rate. Like you said, he's coming in. Was he aware of the other player? We already had the player down. All that is aggressive play. How can you fault? If we really, it would be fun to start teasing out some of these injuries and look at where. And I'm sure they are looking at it at Ford Field, is to see what's going on. Is there a pattern? Is it something we can do? Because nobody wants it. Nobody wants to see any injury at all. Is there a prevention? Yeah, we all work about prevention. We all have hindsight. We all can call it. But I think it really gets down to, did they train? People have asked, is it the training program? Are they strength training incorrectly?
Are they are they going too hard too long?
Is that even possible?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's football. We pace. Basketball is my best example of how we've paced out a year to be good at the playoffs. Football hasn't done that. Football is aggressive. It's aggressive every time you're playing, except for those teams with a different attitude and a different culture. And there's a few of them, one out in Vegas. But, there's just... We want this culture, right? Did we have to be so drastic that we need to tone it back a little for next year to be a little smarter? Don't hit as hard. Maybe it's a different way of approaching the game and the way they're doing it. Maybe. I don't. There's not a solid answer. It's like what I think it goes back to. Everybody put 110% out. They're putting everything on the line every time. Their rate of collision's a little higher. Braylon's alluding to that we're not being smart when we're entering with friendly fire. I don't know the stats on the friendly fire injuries. I think of 2 right away.
Hutchinson
wasn't friendly fire.
I thought it was.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, he swung around.
Either way, either way.
Hutch was friendly fire, I believe.
I mean, it can be interpreted both. It's a 50-50 on friendly fire.
Right.
But it's all. I mean, there's not a solid answer. I mean, I don't know what the chat's saying, but
I don't really think it's explainable, to be honest. I feel like we look for the explanation, or we look for the meaning, or you try to, maybe they're practicing too hard, or maybe it's friendly fire. Or this is just happens to suck that the cars strike right, and the percentages for what this year could be, they hit for the Detroit Lions. This is that 22-leg parlay that never hits. You're like, I'm going to just put $10 and bet all this. It never hit. We had injury after injury after injury after injury, and I think that's just a coincidence more than anything.
Speaking of Aiden Hutchinson, too, Are you able to deduce anything from his recovery by watching him walk on the sidelines?
Oh, yeah. Am I able to detect anything? I mean, he's got a slight limp. You can see, because I did watch him. We had seats that were close to the Lions on Saturday. You can still see that. You can visually see the atrophy. You can see that he doesn't have a good it's his left leg. His right leg moves a little bit. Like when you normally walk, you hit your heel first, you hit the outside of your foot, you come off and you push off with your toes. He was a little bit flatter on that left side. If he gets tired, if he gets weak, if he fatigues, the mechanics. But he's working at it. I mean, he's way ahead of schedule.
No concern for you regarding him?
As far as him being ready and being 120%,
yep.
No concern. I think he's, like I said, he's matured. He's learned now a medical thing. He's learned a couple. He's been through a serious injury. He takes everything a little bit differently. He doesn't take anything for granted. I think he appreciates his health, and he's going to be 110% on top of it in recovery.
Some of the injuries that the Lions had, Amik Robertson at the end, I mean, just terrible breaks that require surgery. Whether it was Anzalone, who was out most of the year, Amik Robertson now, these surgery, like Amik Robertson, for instance, surgery to his arm.
That's humorous.
100% next year? Or is there a little bit of a question mark there?
Today's science and catching it, and these guys getting the best treatment that's available, he should be 100%. He's got, it's humorous, so it's from the shoulder down to the elbow. That's, I don't want to say it's an easy fracture. It wasn't like severed in multiple pieces. You're putting that back together. He's rehabbing.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, it gets into their will and their dedication. I mean, their dedication is to get better and get on that field. I think they all are, you think we're upset? That locker room they got a chip on their shoulder. They're coming back to prove something. They have unfinished business. All these guys are coming back as stronger. I think that one injury here that we have is going to be limited by medical sports medicine treatment.
How are you staying entertained this winter here in the cold snow? You got any concerts? What do you got going on with the big...
The concerts are limited during the summer.
During the winter, you mean?
During the winter, too.
You got to go on the road.
You on the road at all?
Yeah, I'm on the road a lot. I'm leaving town. I'll be here. I'll be doing the show from Paris next Thursday.
Get out of here.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully Maz can set that up. I know we're trying to get Gervin on. The big three's going, so we'll get some of those guys talking. Maybe get Clyde and Ice to come on the show, and
we love it. We're big fans.
I know there's gonna be a Detroit.
There is
a Detroit Big Three tournament here, so
we'll
go live from.
We had some of the owners on with us. TJ Lang is an owner.
Yeah, with
Anthony Tomey.
Anthony Tomey.
Shout out.
Yeah.
And all those Eastern Michigan guys.
Yeah, what's the big guy's name? That's
could-
Gervin's guy.
Yeah. It was the bowl. What's the bowl game in Detroit?
The Game Above.
Game Above. Game
Yep.
Above Sports.
Yep.
Game Above Sports.
He's a great guy. He's now involved in Australian sports too. I don't know if you know the NBA started an Australian league. He's involved in that. The soccer. We'll get Gervin out. We'll get to all the details.
Matt Shepard is the executive there at Game Above these days.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah. It's a lot of great people. I mean, a lot of great people are involved in that. So.
Yeah, he's a very generous individual.
Is it Keith Stone?
Yep.
That's his name. Yeah.
Very. Maybe we'll try to get him on.
There you go. Doc, sorry I had to cut it short, man.
It's okay.
No parking? No parking today?
No, I got behind a school bus.
Oh, man. Just to run around that thing.
I know. I can't do it. But, yeah, I mean, as far as with the viewers, I mean, talking about the Lions and stuff, obviously we'll talk about the postmortem, how to handle it mentally. But we do want to hear from people.
Sports fans, don't miss out on Expert Sports Injury Insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.